daughter of your heart reaches such a momentous milestone and invites you to speak, you put your social anxiety and your fear of public speaking aside and you show up. And when you realize that you're the only speaker on the program that night, you pray. You pray so hard. A prayer of gratitude for this undeserved and unprecedented honor. My journey was started 25 years ago, but I can describe it as one of divine synchronicity. Because, see, 7 years before we even met, certain events started happening to position ourselves so that we would meet and walk a journey together. So I'm taking you back to 1987. I was a hot, hip, happening 20-something-year-old broadcaster. I was appointed to do a show called View Plus, which was the top billing of its day. Something to me was a equally hip, happening 20-something-year-old producer called Patience Stevens. And she took me by my hand, and she told me everything that I needed to know about the industry. 5 years later, it was 1992. I was now hosting the Miss South Africa pageant, and in walked a ray of sunshine. You know those people who just change the atmosphere for the better? There she is, she still does it. Her name, Joanna Makhalemele. That year, she won Miss Personality, and at the end of the pageant, she came to greet me. She said, "This is not goodbye, Dora. I've got a baby sister, and she is going to walk this thing." 1994, I bought the Miss South Africa pageant, as Flo said earlier, and I needed to make some changes. This was the year of transformation in this country, and I needed to make some changes. So first of all, I looked at the rules. There was no educational qualification there. Miss South Africa didn't even need a matric. I thought, surely that is wrong. We wrote that into the rules. Went a bit further down. She needs to have a driver's license. Wow, that would exclude the majority of our people, wouldn't it? Because I didn't have a driver's license at 18, 19, or 20, or 21, or 25, for that matter. Well, it was 1994. I had my Miss SA squad with me, Tatno Wadbala, Jan Milan, Yanni Pretorius, and we were now going to start scouting for talent in the province. We were in Machuba's Kloof, 10 o'clock in the morning, and Yanni came to me and he said, we were about to start judging, and he said to me, "I just opened the mail. See what I found. I found you in South Africa." I looked at the picture, and there was this gorgeous woman smiling back at me. And then I said, "Is she here? Is she waiting for us?" And he said, "No, we can't find her anywhere. She's not answering her phone." And my heart just sank. Yanni then looked at the picture a bit more closely, and he said, "Look at the swimming costume. We had 12 of these made in 1992 for the Miss South Africa finalists." He turned over the form, he said, "This girl's name is Makhalemele. There was a Makhalemele in that pageant that year, Joanna. I wonder what happened to her. How can we find her? This must be her little sister that she spoke about." I said, "Well, I can find her very easily. I know where she works, KPMG, but she's also my co-presenter at Mnet. I have a number." And I phoned Joanna. I said, "Joanna, we're in Machuba's Kloof. We're about to start judging. Your sister's entry just arrived, but we can't get a hold of her. Tell me, Joanna, is your sister as lovely as she looks in her picture?" And Joanna said, "Do you remember what you said?" She said, "She's better. My sister is perfect." And she was absolutely right. Joanna, resilient, resourceful as she always is, her sister had been writing a final exam that morning. Joanna pulled her out of the exam room under the guise of a family emergency. Throughout the day, I kept my eye on the door. Every time Yanni came in, I was hoping he would say something about Basetsana. But he didn't. And 5 o'clock came, and 5 o'clock went. And we started packing up our things to come back to Johannesburg. And Yanni burst into the room and he said, "She's here. Miss South Africa is Bassie arrived. She'd been writing exams that day, remember? I don't know what your grooming is like when you have to write a final exam, but I can tell you, I would definitely not be looking the way she was that day. Groomed to the nines from head to toe. She had hitchhiked 175 kilometers to make it there on time. She arrived and she said, I didn't know this was happening. I was writing exams. I don't have a swimming costume. In fact, I don't have anything. Can you help me? But that's when pageant mama kicked in. I had a whole box of swimsuits. She selected one, she put it on, she did a swimsuit parade, and then she went and she sat down to answer her questions. I said, don't you want to change? It must be uncomfortable to sit in front of a panel of judges in your swimwear. She said, no, you've been waiting for me all day. I can do this. And she sat down and she answered every single question that the judges had for her that day. She knew it all. I was so relieved. I thought, our job was done. It doesn't matter what happens in the other provinces. We found Miss South Africa. Was I wrong? On the night of the pageant, nobody could have been more surprised when the results came. There was a dead heat between Bassie and another girl. I didn't know how that had happened. And for the first and only time of my 6 years at the helm of Miss South Africa, I actually cast a deciding vote that night. But first, I preached to them. I had a flip chart, and I compared the two. I compared the two entrants, and in the end, I told them why I was casting my vote for Basetsana. At the final, I was not part of the judging panel, but the judges did the right thing. The right girl won. And if you look back at the night of that pageant, you will see when Bassie's name is called, she looks back first and she acknowledges her fellow contestants, and they all beam in applause of her. Because before the pageant, I asked each and every one of them individually, if you were the judge, who would win Miss South Africa? And every one of them, without fail, put Bassie's name ahead of their own. They all wanted her to win. When I took over the pageant, we didn't have much money. There wasn't much prize money. Presumptuously, I said, this is my aim for Miss South Africa. We needed to be a role model and a national symbol of excellence. And in return, we will promise her the love of a nation. How presumptuous was I to think that I could make a nation love Bassie? But she earned it in time. 2 months after she won, the Miss World pageant was hosted in Sun City. There was so much excitement around. Everybody said, it's between these two girls. It's either Miss India or it's Miss South Africa, Basetsana Khumalo. Bassie called me aside and she said, Ma, we need to talk. We don't want to win this thing, do we? And I'm like, don't we? Do you know in those days what it cost to enter somebody to participate in Miss World? I don't know what it costs today, but then it cost 300,000 rands just to have your entrant on the stage. That's beside all the other expenses. And Bassie said to me, Ma, our country is at such an important phase. People lived and bled and died for our freedom. How would I feel if I were to observe everything from a distance in self-imposed exile? I can't win this, Mom. There's a job to be done in South Africa. I said, okay, then we won't win. What do you want to do? And she said, Ma, top 10. And she did so much better. She was the first runner-up in Miss World. 2 months later, there was another very important event in South Africa. The Rolling Stones came with their Voodoo Lounge tour. And I remember at the end of the evening, I walked to my car and I could still hear Jumping Jack Flash and Brown Sugar in my mind. And who should I bump into but my favorite television director, Patience Stevens. She walks up to me and she says, Doreen, you're Miss South Africa. Basetsana Khumalo, I would love her to be a presenter on Top Billing. And immediately we clicked. We knew that television would somehow be very important on Bassie's path. And we said yes. I said yes, of course, she can be that. The media didn't like that idea because Bassie was 20, she had a full-time job as Miss SA, and I gave her another full-time job as a presenter of Top Billing. But she handled that then pretty much like she handles everything else now. Miss South Africa set Bassie on the right track, but Top Billing just expedited her trajectory. Years later, about 5 years later or so, or before I go there, when it was time for Bassie to hand over her crown, she truly had become everything that I had envisioned. That role model, that national symbol of excellence. And do you agree with me here tonight that she had earned the love of a nation? Forgive me, but I think that sounded rather muted. Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about Basetsana Khumalo. Yes. 5 years later, when she said to me, "Ma, I found the one," I said, "Bassie, what makes him the one?" And she said, she didn't give me some schmaltzy moles and boons answer. She said, "Mommy, he gets me. He gets me, and he leaves me free to be who I need to be." Father of the tribe, I acknowledge you. This would not have been possible without you. Thank you. I thank you. I thank in their absence because they've left us for now. And Father, who left me with no work to do at all. People credit me for helping develop Basetsana. I wish I did. I wish I could. She honors me when she calls me Ma, or these days she calls me Mother, Mother, Mother. 3 times honorific. The work was done by her parents, Mutter, Father, her siblings, and the village that raised her. And tonight, Bassie, I can only tell you how inordinately proud I am to have walked with you for part of this incredible journey to date. I want to leave you with the words of Mutter. She always, 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 when she saw us, she would hold our hands and she would say, "Onthou, ek slaan my oë op na die berge. Waar sal my hulp vandaan kom? My hulp kom van die Here wat hemel en aarde gemaak het." Psalm 121. And Father's advice to us always was powerful and equally poignant. He would always say, "Baby girl," what would he say? "Keep the faith. Don't lose the hope." And in conclusion, I want to end with someone who, a week after Bassie assumed the duties as Miss South Africa, asked me to bring her to see him at the Union Buildings. And he said, "Please allow me to be your honorary grandfather." So I want to leave you with his words, because they are universal and they are applicable to every journey that we undertake in this world. He said, "I have walked that long road to freedom. I have tried not to falter. I have made missteps along the way. But I've discovered the secret that after climbing a great hill, one only finds that there are many more hills to climb. I have taken a moment here to rest, to steal a view of the glorious vista that surrounds me, to look back on the distance that I have come. But I can only rest for a moment, for with freedom come responsibilities, and I dare not linger. My long walk is not yet ended." What an honor it has been to walk beside you for a part of your journey. Long may it continue, and congratulations, firstborn daughter of my heart.
Doreen Morris, everybody, can we give a